How you doing, Trench? I'm back.
If you're a sincere seeker of truth, check that.
Number 9 is related, and that would be Muhammad tried repeatedly to kill himself. You Muslims out there who believe in Muhammad, you are believing in a man who tried repeatedly to commit suicide. According to the Muslim sources, he tried to commit suicide after receiving these revelations because he didn't want his tribe to be able to say that he was possessed by a jinn. Great.
Okay, so in response to that, very briefly, it's the exact same report. It's the report of Ubayd bin Umair al-Laythi, so it's a disconnected report. We don't even need to get into that. David in the full video actually mentions that's also reported in Sahih Bukhari. However, it's reported by Zuhri, and Zuhri doesn't mention his source. Al-Bukhari sometimes does quote disconnected reports without the intention of providing you with authentic reports. These are referred to as balaghat al-Zuhri. Al-Zuhri says, balagana, we were told, by whom, we don't know. And so basically this is rejected by scholars of hadith as well.
You heard him, guys. You heard him. Suddenly, Sahih al-Bukhari is not so Sahih anymore. You idiot! Who are you trying to deceive? Are you only trying to deceive yourself and your Muslim audience who are enjoying your deception? Your makr, the same makr that you are using, that Allah used? Wallahu khairul makirin. Allah is the best of deceivers. Suddenly, guys, you heard him. Suddenly, Sahih al-Bukhari is not Sahih anymore. So let us reject it when it becomes too embarrassing to see the Prophet of Islam being the maniac suicidal prophet. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith number 6982 reads, but after a few days, Waraqah died and the divine inspiration was also paused for a while. And the Prophet became so sad, as we have heard, that he intended several times to throw himself from the tops of the high mountains. Now this is a long hadith, but now you get the idea. When it becomes too embarrassing to see that Muhammad was the suicidal maniac prophet, Muslims will reject it. But it's Sahih. But it's da'if. No, it's Sahih. No, it's da'if, brother. It's too embarrassing for us Muslims, so we have to reject it, even if it's Sahih al-Bukhari. But it's Sahih. Who cares? Who cares? We reject it. Deal with it, Muslims. But no, when it does not suit their agenda, even Sahih al-Bukhari becomes da'if. Da'if, brother? Yes, da'if, brother. But it's Sahih al-Bukhari, brother. But it's da'if, brother. It's da'if.
And so basically this is rejected by scholars of hadith as well.
You are so silly.
We have seen the evidence. You cannot escape anymore. You're finished. A'udhu billah.
Number 9 is related, and that would be Muhammad tried repeatedly to kill himself. You Muslims out there who believe in Muhammad, you are believing in a man who tried repeatedly to commit suicide. According to the Muslim sources, he tried to commit suicide after receiving these revelations because he didn't want his tribe to be able to say that he was possessed by a jinn.
He was like, whoa, oh my God. I was like,
this is the part you want to cut out and put on Twitter.
Assalamu alaikum, guys, and welcome to an episode.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
No, you guys been asking for it. Apos.
I have no muscles here. I have no muscles. I have no muscles here. I have no muscles.
So Apos has been dodging Muhammad Hijab for quite a while now. So to confront his Islamophobia and hate preaching, Muhammad Hijab had to adopt a slightly different style. With the help of Adam Saleh and Slim, Hijab decided to pay Apos a surprise visit.
because you don't believe in it, you are also followed and persecuted for that. So it is completely normal that somebody who leaves Islam, whose entire life was defined by the fears of
we have our friend here who's more I feel like he's way more. It's not about Muhammad Hijab. No, it's not about him. It's not about that.
Calm down.
I have made it straight.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Look. April.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
Yeah, it says in chapter 25, تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سرجا منيرا 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 وجعل فيها سرجا منيرا.
Now he entirely missed or skipped or omitted the word qamaran, which means moon. And I'm going to ask you, why do you think he did that? He cites it twice in Arabic, and in Arabic he skips it as well. But he translates it in English, skips it, completely omits the word moon, and he even looks it up on his phone later, and he never corrects himself. My question is, why do you think he skipped over the word qamar or qamaran, the word moon? Let's listen to it one more time.
Yeah, it says in chapter 25, تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سرجا منيرا. There's two قراءة. One قراءة says سراجا منيرا and سرجا منيرا.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
وجعل فيها سرجا منيرا وجعل فيها سرجا منيرا وجعل فيها سرجا منيرا سرجا منيرا. I've memorized the Quran. You get it? 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 I've memorized the Quran. You get it?
Wait, Hijab. Wait. Why are you lying? Shame on you. Stop doing bid'ah, ya Hijab. Why are you doing bid'ah? Why are you playing with the Quran of Allah, man? People are getting killed for it in Islam. I hope that your friends are not going to hurt you for playing with the Quran of Allah, doing bid'ah. Why are you playing? Why are you removing words? Why are you removing the word the moon, a moon, from the ayah? Did you eat it? Were you hungry, Mr. Muhammad Hijab? Were you hungry that day during the debate with the apostate prophet? No, the ayah doesn't sound like that. The ayah reads like this. تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سراجا وقمرا منيرا. So Mr. Muhammad Hijab, why did you remove this word, this highlighted word? A moon. Do you have any shame? I hope that the Muslims won't force you to repent after dragging you over the floor with your beard. They should actually do that. They should come to you, grab you by your beard, and tell you, why are you doing bid'ah? Why are you playing with the Quran? Shame on you. Drag you by your beard, clean the floor with your beard, and force you to repent. Because people, like I said, people are getting killed for corrupting the Quran. Shame on you, Mr. Muhammad Hijab. It seems that us Christians have to teach you the Quran. But what did Muhammad Hijab say? I memorized the Quran. Yeah, right.
I've memorized the Quran. You get it? I've memorized the Quran. You get it? I've memorized the Quran. You get it? You're coming to me. You're coming to me. I'm the A side. I've got the gold. I've got the qualification.
Well, I personally think you're terrible in your understanding of Islam.
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
You are so silly.
Now he entirely missed or skipped or omitted the word qamaran, which means moon. And I'm going to ask you, why do you think he did that? He cites it twice in Arabic, and in Arabic he skips it as well. But he translates it in English, skips it, completely omits the word moon, and he even looks it up on his phone later, and he never corrects himself. My question is, why do you think he skipped over the word qamar or qamaran, the word moon? Let's listen to it one more time.
Yeah, it says in chapter 25, تبارك الذي جعل في السماء بروجا وجعل فيها سروجا منيرا.
You are so silly.
If you believe that this book is from other than God, then please try and find, you would have found in it many contradictions. لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا.
I have shown many of them.
Challenge there to try and find contradictions in the Quran.
I have falsified the Quran on very high levels.
Do it now, that's fine.
It's the one and only Digo Double G. It's the one and only Digo Double G.
According to the Quran, the embryo in the womb of his mother is being developed. We see that you have a lump of flesh, then you get the bones, so it becomes bones, so the flesh becomes bones, and then the bones are covered with flesh. Do you see it?
And then the congealed blood became a lump, and then bones, and then we close the flesh by the bones by flesh.
The human embryo, that in the 7th week the bones are formed, and immediately after that the flesh is formed, and the flesh, the bones are clothed with flesh.
So let us see if this is true, guys. Let us see if this is true, all right?
Which people in embryology are in perfect conformity with latest advances of embryology.
Crook! Wallah, you're a crook. You are a crook.
Modern science explains that the mesoderm, right? You have a tissue, basically layers of tissue. The mesoderm is responsible, which is this stuff here that you see here. It's a tissue, right? Which is responsible for forming tissue such as flesh and bones. So this layer, this part here is responsible for forming tissue such as flesh and bones. This layer, so this mesoderm layer develops the flesh and bones simultaneously.
People in embryology are in perfect conformity with latest advances of embryology.
What? At the same time, flesh and bones are developed. So modern science destroys the Quranic claim. As we mentioned, one error destroys Quran, destroys Islam, cripples Islam, and proves that Muhammad is nothing but a fake prophet.
Surah Nahl, chapter number 16, verse 43, and Surah Anbiya, chapter number 21, verse number 7, which says, if you don't know, if you're in doubt, ask the person who's knowledgeable.
Right.
And these are forming simultaneously with each other.
Right. Simultaneously. Simultaneously.
So no, you don't get the bones first and then tissue, which is flesh that covers the bones. No, bones and flesh are developed simultaneously when you have a baby.
What the hell is this? A'udhu billah.
All of the creation kind of happens, the creation of the hearing, etc., fashioning of the bones and clothing of the flesh. It all happens simultaneously.
In the 7th week the bones are formed, and immediately after that the flesh is formed.
It all happens simultaneously.
If we have a Muslim parent, a mother or a father, let's say the father, imagine if your wife is pregnant. God forbid, if she gets a miscarriage and she loses the baby at this stage that you see here, the highlighted stage, the bones, then we can say, congratulations, Dad, you just became father to a skeleton baby. There's no flesh. Can you imagine, guys? Look at this comedy in the Quran.
People that are trying to promote Islam as to make it scientific friendly or science friendly.
I was like, whoa, oh my God. I was like,
Now, I received a comment from Yahya from Speaker's Corner, and he calls himself the #1 Islam defender, Yahya. And he says, and I quote, a true Christian Allah prayer is not a prayer of worship to his servants, no, but descending his mercy, forgiveness, blessing, and appreciation to them as obedient to him. On the other hand, Yahya says, and you do not want the truth as you are sick in your heart, Rob Christian, and worship a bloody God who seek blood only to forgive. To hell with this God. Wow, did he just say it? He just cursed the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Well, it's your funeral, Mr. Yahya.
Listen to me. We have the evidences. You don't believe? Wallahi, we have the evidence. We saw it with our eyes. Don't mess around. Don't play a game.
So here, Mr. Yahya is cursing the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Well, Yahya, it's your funeral. But Mr. Yahya, still, the unanswered $1 million question is, to who does Allah pray when Allah prays on Muhammad? We want to know. When I pray to my God. But when Allah prays, to who does Allah pray? Well, at least, guys, at least he is confirming that Allah prays. Allah prayer. Yahya said, Allah prayer? Yes, Allah is praying. Thank you very much.
We have seen the evidence. You cannot escape anymore. You're finished. A'udhu billah.
Now, I answered him and I said to Islam defender Yahya the following. I said, Islam defender Yahya, because I know Arabic and I am immune for your lies, you know very well as Arab from Lebanon, probably your grand family were Christians who were too coward to stay Christians, that prayer is salah. And the verb is yusalli or yusalluna. Allah yusalli means Allah pray. Allah yubarik means Allah bless. You know that very well, and you already agreed on it on our debate on soccer films. Remember my debate on soccer films with Yahya? I really spanked him hard without any mercy. And I continue saying, but because it destroys Allah as a mushrik, you have to come with your own version of Islam to explain it away, to please and ease your doubting mind. You are in denial, my friend Yahya. Both of us know you think that I hate you. This is why you always curse me when I spank you without any mercy. Allah prays? To who does Allah pray? And now we have another Christian who is about to spank Yahya. Watch. He is Pakistani spin doctor and he came to join the conversation. He says to Islam defender Yahya, and I quote, right, so Allah made a big mistake and now you are making excuses for Allah. How kind of you, Yahya. Will you also tell Allah to stop peeing in your ears? Might be helpful. So Islam defender Yahya answers back and he says, seriously? I want you to be happy, happy, happy. Bye-bye. He knows he's in trouble, so this is the wonderful answer of Yahya. The number one, Islam's number one defender, Yahya from Speaker's Corner. Allah prays? Allah prays to who? Brother, Allah prays to who? Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best.
You are so silly.
Now we have a regular Muslim who loves to spam my comment section as the coward keyboard jihadi that he is, by the name of Mahbub Noor. And this gentleman, I think he's a Christian brother by the name of New and Learner, who was having a discussion with this Muhammadan Mahbub Noor. Now let us read what they said. New Learner says, and I quote, at Mahbub Noor, the Muhammadan, Zakir Naik, the fugitive and liar who said Dahaha means the shape of a ostrich's egg, while Muhammad and Allah said it means to spread out, to flatten the earth. Remember? Who do you follow? Allah and Muhammad or Zakir Naik who doesn't know Arabic? Ya Ahlul Bid'ah. So he's calling Mahbub Noor Ahlul Bid'ah, i.e. the people of Bid'ah. So when you're innovating something that is not Islam, which is haram, Ahlul Bid'ah. If you believe in Prophet Muhammad and the Sahaba, then Dahaha means to spread out or to make something flat, in this case the earth, Dahaha, or smoothen. But if you believe in Zakir Naik, the medical doctor brother, sister, then it means and an ostrich egg shape. And let's see what the reaction of Mahbub Noor, this Muslim, is. Watch. Mahbub Noor is going to address Mr. New and Learner Beg, and he says, Mahbub Noor says, and I quote, "At New Learner, WTF is Ahlul Bid'ah." What is that, man? I realized you fools, i.e. Christians, is calling us fools, use terminology which I didn't hear before. Funny guys. So remember, Ahlul Bid'ah means people of Bid'ah. And my reaction is, so I jumped in and I said, and I quote, "Mahbub Noor, because you're an ignoramus, you are an ignoramus, Mr. Muhammad and Mahbub Noor. You never heard of Tarikh Dimashq? You never heard of Tarikh Dimashq, ya Jahil, which is a very well-known book in Islam. So I'm calling him Jahil, which means someone who comes before Islam, someone who is coming before Islam, a Jahil, an ignoramus, a pagan. So I'm calling him a pagan. Ahl al-Bid'ah is a very well-known terminology in Islam, you idiot. So this guy doesn't know his Islam, right? He doesn't know his Islam. So I'm going to spank him. Watch. Here is Tarikh Dimashq 815, asking for less refutations, signs of Ahl al-Bid'ah. So someone who is regarded as Ahl al-Bid'ah. It's reported from Al-Abbas bin Al-Walid that Uqba said, "I was once with bin al-Mundhir when one of the people in the gathering said, 'What do you say about a man who sits with the followers of the Sunnah and mixes,' now watch, pay attention, watch, 'and mixes with them, but when the followers of Bid'ah are mentioned, he says, spare us from mentioning them. Please don't talk about them. Do not talk about them.' Then this guy said, 'He is one of them. Do not let him confuse you about his condition.'" And remember, one of them is addressing the Ahlul Bid'ah. So he's one of the Ahlul Bid'ah. I felt this was strange. So I went to this guy and he used to clarify these matters when they came to him. Do you see it? So Tarikh al-Dimashq, which is very basic. Ya miskeen, ya Mr. Noor, ya miskeen, ya Jahil. It's basics in Islam. People of Bid'ah, Ahl al-Bid'ah. Shame on you. And you're calling us fools? You are saying that we are coming up with new terminologies? You are a Jahil, you are a miskeen. What can we do about it, man? And by the way, guys, miskeen in Arabic means someone who is poor, someone who doesn't know much. Yeah, miskeen ibn miskeen. Sit down and let the Christians teach you your Islam. Now I caught this poor miskeen, Mr. Mahbub Noor, on Farid Response channel. He is one of his fanboys. Yes, one of the fanboys of Farid Response, that coward who will never ever debate me because he knows what will happen to him in a debate. He went to Farid Response, to Farida, and he asked Farida to make, please Farida, make a video to refute people like Rob Christians who always say that Allah prays. So let us see what he is asking Farida, what kind of question he is asking him. Here is the same guy, Mahbub Noor, right? Mahbub Noor, the same poor guy. So let us read what his wishes to Farida, what his question to Farida is. He says, and I quote, Mahbub Noor says, "Farida, Christians have claimed for a long time Surah Al-Ahzab, Ayah 56, which is chapter 33, Ayah 56, means Allah, there is not called God, it's Allah, prays, Allah prays, or supplicates to the Prophet or for the Prophet. Please refute this by using classical Muslim scholars." So he's asking Farida, from Farid Response, to address this disaster. Remember, Muhammad Hijab in the debate where David Wood said, and I quote, Allah prays for, not to the Prophet. So Muhammad Hijab actually confirms that Allah prays, and he claims to be an Arabic expert trying to teach David Wood Arabic lessons. So this Mahbub Noor, probably he doesn't know Arabic. He doesn't know Arabic, so he's asking Farida to make a video. Please, Farida, make a video. Please refute this by using classical Muslim scholars, Arabic lexicons, and linguistical breaking down the word yusalluna ala. Remember Allah and his angels in the ayah, in ayah 56 from chapter 33, it says, Inna Allah wa malaikatu yusalluna ala an-nabi. Yusalluna ala an-nabi. And also using other ayahs in the Quran where it states Allah might and self-sufficiency. So he's asking Farida, please Farida, make a video, please, to refute these Christians, man. They are busting us. They are busting our Prophet and showing everybody that Allah prays. Allah prays. To who does Allah pray? Allahu A'lam. So let me help this poor guy, because Farid will never ever debate us, right? He will never ever debate us, or let alone try to refute us on this very topic, on this disaster that Allah prays. Let me help him and show him this Mahbub Noor, who doesn't know Arabic, that actually it does mean prayer. Let me give you an example, Mahbub Noor. I hope you're going to watch this and maybe learn what it means, what it actually means. It does mean Allah prays. Prays. Allah is praying. Watch. Here is the example. A man dies and the Imam has to pray on his soul, on this deceased person. Then the Imam has to do the following. Al-Imam yusalli ala al-mayyit. Yusalli ala al-mayyit. Al-Imam yusalli ala al-mayyit. This is the transliteration. The translation into English is the following. The Imam is praying on. Did you catch it? On the dead person. It's still praying. Yusalli ala. And these are the same words that we can find in the Quran in chapter 33, ayah 56. Mr. Mahbub Noor, Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala an-nabi. Yusalluna ala an-nabi. Plural, because it's talking about Allah and his angels. Yusalluna, plural of yusalli. The plural verb form of yusalli. So it's still praying on. So to who does Allah pray? When Allah prays on the Nabi, on the Prophet. Mr. Mahbub Noor, you need to leave this pagan cult, man. Islam is created by Muhammad to even Allah himself to pray on Muhammad. Allah prays? Yes, Allah prays. You can't run from it. It's fact. Allah is praying, and we know who the real God of Islam is, right, Muslims? It's Muhammad. This is the reason why the Christians in the Middle East, us Christians in the Middle East, call you Muhammadans. You are a Muhammadan because even your Allah has to pray on Muhammad. Thank you for watching, guys, and God bless.
Yeah.
Why you always freaking lying? Why you always lying? Why you always lying?
No, I never said that either.
Why you always freaking lying?
That the standard narrative,
You'll finish.
has holes, has holes. That the standard narrative,
You'll finish.
has holes, has holes. This is a topic that when you're the beginning student of knowledge, you're like, what is all of this going on? What is all of this going on here? When you go a little bit more, you learn to simply memorize what your teachers say and regurgitate it out. And you don't fully comprehend. When you do a deep dive is when things get very, very awkward. That the standard narrative standard narrative
You're finished.
has holes. Has holes. That the standard narrative. That the standard narrative.
Boy.
That the standard narrative.
You're finished.
Has holes. Has holes. And I don't think it is wise to bring it up. Why didn't I say it? Because it should not be said in public. Because it should not be said in public. I don't want to get into that issue. I don't want to get into that issue. I don't even want to be explicit. It should only be discussed amongst those who are familiar with this science. It should never be brought up in public. This is not something you discuss amongst the masses, ya akhi. It's not wise. It's not wise that the standard narrative, that the standard narrative,
Boy.
that the standard narrative
You're finished.
has holes. Has holes. That the standard narrative. That the standard narrative.
Boy.
That the standard narrative.
You're finished.
Has holes. Has holes.
You're finished.
Anyways, I'm done.
I'll be back.
Surprise! Here is even Google Translate. Google Translate. Al-Imam yusalli ala al-mayyit. The Imam is praying on the Prophet. The dead guy. The Imam is praying on. Allah is praying on. The Imam prays on. Allah prays on Muhammad. You Muslims have to pray on Muhammad. This is not pagan. This is not pagan that Allah prays. To who does Allah pray when Allah prays? That is still the active $1 million question that no Muslim can answer. Allah is praying. Allah yusalli ala. The Imam is praying on the dead guy. It's all the same. Allah is praying on Muhammad. To who does Allah pray? No answer. Allahu A'lam. Allah knows best.